Long, long ago, there lived a man named Noah. He was a good and righteous man who always did what was right. But the people that lived back then were not like Noah. They were wicked and violent. And so God looked down on the earth and saw that it was full of sin. And God had to continue to let them do what they are doing and allow sin to keep growing on the earth, or send a great flood and wash away their sign. Now, God didn't want to do this because he had made the world for all people to enjoy. It was unfair to the other animals or to Noah and his family to destroy the earth just because of the people's sin. So God decided to give the people a second chance. He sent a big rainstorm, one that hadn't been seen before or since. And God told Noah to build a big boat called an ark. An ark that could hold him and his family and a pair of every animal on earth so that they could survive the flood. But why did God choose Noah? Why did he choose Noah to build the ark? Well, the Bible tells us that Noah was a blameless man who walked with God. In other words, Noah was a man who tried his best to please God and do what was right. Now, when God told Noah about the coming flood, Noah didn't argue or complain. He simply did what God told him to do. That's what we'll talk about next time. What did God tell Noah to do? How did Noah respond? We'll find out. Well, after God told Noah about the flood, he gave him very specific instructions about how to build the ark. He told him exactly how big it should be, how tall it should be, and how to put it together. It was to be made out of wood, and the dimensions were to be 3 cubits by 5 cubits by 9 cubits. There were to be 3 stories, and the ark was to be coated inside and out with pitch. Then God told Noah to bring his family into the ark and to take care of the animals. But where would all these animals come from? Well, God told Noah to bring 2 of every kind of animal into the ark, a male and a female, along with 7 pairs of the animals that were clean. Now, there were hundreds, maybe even thousands of different kinds of animals, and Noah had to get them all. Can you imagine how hard that was? But Noah didn't complain. Instead, he worked hard to obey God, and when everything was ready, God instructed him to come into the ark along with his sons, his wife, and daughters-in-law, and that's what they did. When they were all in the ark, God shut the door behind them, and now the rain began. At first, it was just a light rain, but soon it turned into a terrible storm. The rain fell for 40 days and nights. It was so heavy that all the rivers and streams overflowed. The rain continued until every mountain was covered with water. All the people outside the ark were washed away, including all the animals that hadn't made it into the ark. Only those that were inside the ark with Noah were safe. Now, the Bible doesn't say exactly how long the flood lasted, but it must have been many months because the water covered the earth for 150 days before it started to go down. Finally, the water receded and the ark landed on the mountains of Ararat. Then Noah sent out birds to see if the water was gone from the earth. And when he saw that the water had receded, he built an altar and offered a sacrifice of burnt offerings to God, and God looked down and smelled the sacrifice. Then he made a covenant with Noah, promising that he would never again destroy the earth with a flood. As a reminder of his promise, God placed a rainbow in the sky. You know, sometimes when we look up and see a beautiful rainbow, we can remember that God keeps his promises. And that's a great lesson for us to learn. Hey, if you liked this story, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in next time for another amazing Bible story. Until then, God bless you.